Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. And salutations to all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash, in truth and sincerity. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakodash, Barakatham to you all. Okay, in this lesson, what I'm going to do is my second video on why we call Esau the devil, okay? And when we refer to Esau, Edom, okay, we're referring to the so-called, all right, self-proclaimed white race, okay, the Caucasian people, all right. You are the descendants of the nation of Edom, okay, Esau, all right, and we call you the devil, okay, straight up, all right. You are the wicked that the Bible speaks of, okay. You are the border of wickedness, okay. You are that wicked, all right, which in these latter days is being revealed, okay. Who's coming is after the working of Satan, all right. In my first video I did concerning this topic was going into the broken treaties between Esau, or that Esau made with Gad, okay, and Reuben, all right, the so-called Native Americans and Seminole Indians, okay. Esau would make treaties with them, all right, promising them protection and immunity, all right, from having their land taken away from them, and then turn around and break those same treaties or write new laws to try to override the treaties that he just previously signed, okay, on land that didn't belong to him in the first place, all right. But nonetheless, he took it upon himself because he's a hypocritical liar, proud devil, okay, thief, a murderer, and so on and so forth, all right, to do those things, man. Okay, but in this second video, what I'm going to go into is the horrific medical experiments, okay, and practices of Esau, Edom, okay. And in this particular lesson, I'm going to focus on two articles, okay, which for the most part focus on this guy, okay, who's being portrayed in a statue, all right, the father, okay, the so-called father of modern gynecology, okay, a man, okay, by the name of Dr. James Marion Sims, okay, but I want to say this, I found a lot of articles concerning this topic, okay. I found a lot. I found like 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, okay, different articles, okay, and you know, there's a lot of history going on this, man. Esau, all right, he's the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the planet Earth, and he has never cared about you Israelites, man. Okay, he's gone far, okay, in abusing you and using you for all kinds of means, man. All right, you know, and to stick with the topic of this lesson, all right, his medical system, man. Okay, you had the Tuskegee experiments, okay, where Esau pretty much. Jake had syphilis, okay, and Esau would pretty much run an experiment, all right, watching the natural progression of this disease in black men, okay, 600 to be exact, all right, even though he could give them the treatment, all right, which was readily available, all right, he wanted to just see, you know, how Jake could suffer from this disease, okay, and the effects of this disease on Jake, okay. All right. And then you had plenty of cases, man. All right. Like I said, I had plenty of articles, you know, but I want to focus on I just want to focus on these two here, you know, for the sake of time. All right. You also had Jake. There's this one story, okay, from an article that I was reading. All right. There was a particular doctor, okay, during the times of slavery. All right, when Esau had Jake, you know, with actual chains and shackles on their necks and feet. All right, there's this particular doctor, so-called physician, okay, who was trying to figure out, you know, whether or not this young Israelite slave girl had a tumor behind her ear, and him messing with the tumor, okay, with what he thought was a tumor, a growth behind the girl's ear, okay, it ended up becoming so inflamed, all right, through his tampering with it, that it grew into the size of an ostrich egg, okay, totally disfiguring this girl, all right. And mind you, this girl was, I believe she was at age 6, okay, by the time it grew that size. So this whole time it was growing, okay, she was younger than the age of 6, and Esau was just, you know, messing around, all right, with this growth behind her ear, and eventually became inflamed, okay. and totally disfigured this woman. And then when this little girl, and then when she died, all right, they had her head displayed in a medical museum, okay, in Maryland, all right. And Esau was known, all right, going back to the 1800s, okay, the 1900s, so on and so forth, and earlier than that, okay, Esau was known for experimenting and dissecting on Jake's bodies and portraying Jake's body parts, okay, in their medical museums, all right. And also you had another case in the Caribbean. Like I said, I have been reading various articles on this, man. I had like 6, 7, but I was like, I can't bring them all out in one video, okay. But nonetheless, like I was saying, there was one particular article. There was this British physician, okay, from Europe, okay. He was experimenting in the Caribbean on pregnant women, okay, and menstruating women and newborn children, okay, inoculating them with smallpox, man, okay, to try to see if he could build up some kind of a cure, okay, for the condition. But he would inoculate, or which pretty much means to introduce or inject a plant or animal or a subject with a disease, a live disease, to watch the progression of the disease in the hopes of finding a cure. All right. So Esau has a long history of doing this shit. Long story short. Okay. In this particular video, what I want to focus on is 2 articles dealing with this guy here, the father of modern gynecology, James Marion Sims, man. All right. A pure devil, man. Okay. And just show you, man, that Esau's a devil, man. And this is the time of his revealing, man. All right. So to begin, one thing I want to do, I want to bring out some precepts. All right. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 6. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hid things sought up? Okay, so now we're in the times where the nation of Edom, Esau, Edom is being searched out. Okay, his hidden things are being sought up, man. All right, and brothers are going into Esau's own history, okay, his own economic system, his own medical system, all right, and so on and so forth, of documentation that Esau's put out there, okay. All right, which is not so much known to the public, but it's still out there. All right, showing his track record, man, showing his past, man. Okay, and how much of a devil he is, man. All right, Esau does not give a damn, man. All right, he does not care, man. This guy goes around destroying the earth. Okay, he abuses the Lord's people. He oppresses the Lord's people. He does all kinds of wicked shit, man. Okay, and then he gets mad at you when you call him the devil, when you call him out on it. Okay, which is fucking madness, man. All right, if the shoe fits, wear it, man. Okay, if the shoe fits, wear another shoe. Okay, put the other shoe on. All right, it's gotten you this far, being the devil, so embrace it. Okay, this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. Well, not chapter 1, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Okay, so now we're living in the times, okay, because Paul let us know, okay, that the day of the Lord is not going to come until the Lord reveals the son of perdition, man. Okay, that man of sin, which is the wicked, which is you Edomites, okay, whose coming is after the working of Satan, man. All right, so we're living in the times where your skirt is being lifted, man. Okay, your track record, all right, is being exposed, and you're being exposed as the Edomites, all right, the physical incarnation of Satan, all right, and the devil on the planet Earth. Okay, Shalakia. All right, so I'm gonna hop right into this article. I'm gonna bring out some few precepts here and there, probably more towards the end of the video, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. So to begin, I want to start here with history channel, okay, .com, or thehistory.com. All right, and it's the title of this article is "The Father of Modern Gynecology Performs Shocking Experiments on Slaves." Okay, now from the title alone, man, already you Edomites are the devil, man, because you call this guy the father of modern gynecology. Okay, this guy has statues, he has plaques, okay, scattered throughout this country, okay, the United States, okay, and he's viewed, all right, as a pioneer, as a trailblazer, okay, amongst the medical and the scientific community. Then come to find out, all right, you call him the father of modern gynecology. Come to find out, he was performing his experiments, okay, on slaves, man. That's how he perfected, all right, his experiments, his procedures, okay. on slaves, man, okay, specifically on women, because gynecology is the study of the woman's reproductive system and the organs associated with it, man. Okay, so this guy was doing experiments, okay, on live slave women bodies, okay, cutting into them, all right, cutting into their vaginas, cutting into their uterus, cutting into their bladders, and so on and so forth, okay, to perfect his experiments. And then years later, okay, this guy is the father of modern gynecology. Okay, everybody stand up and clap your hands, give this guy a round of applause, let him have statues all over the goddamn place, man. Okay, but then Esau's going to turn around and tell you everybody's equal, okay, love everybody, okay, to try to paint himself as somebody with integrity, okay, and morals, all right, when his history shows the total opposite. Okay, all right, so reading, okay, the article, it says he was a medical trailblazer, but at what cost? James Marion Sims developed pioneering tools and surgical techniques related to the woman's reproductive system and is credited as the father of modern gynecology. In the 19th century physician, has been lionized with statues in New York City, South Carolina, and Pennsylvania. But because Sims' research was conducted on enslaved black women without anesthesia, all right, medical ethicists, historians, and others have called for those monuments to be removed and for them to be reconfigured as tributes to the enslaved women known to have endured his experiments. This guy, man, okay, was experimenting, all right, doing all these experiments, okay, on these women without anesthesia, man. All right, cutting all into their private part, man. Okay, without anesthesia, no painkillers, no sedatives, nothing, man. Okay. All right, it says Sims, who practiced medicine at a time when treating women was considered distasteful and rarely done, invented the vaginal speculum, a tool used for dilation and examination. He also pioneered a surgical technique to repair vesicovaginal fistula, a common 19th century complication of childbirth in which a tear between the uterus and bladder caused constant pain and urine leakage. Okay. Now this is what's said. Okay, it says Sims' defenders say that the Southern-born slaveholder was simply a man of his time for whom the end justified the means, and that enslaved women with fistula were likely to have wanted the treatment badly enough that they would have agreed to take part in his experiments. But history hasn't recorded their voices, and consent from their owners, who had a strong financial interest in their recovery, was the only legal requirement of the time. Okay, so this guy right here, all right, people actually defend this demon right here, man. Okay, claiming that the ends justified the means. All right, it doesn't matter. These women went through so much pain, okay, indescribable pain. All right, the fact that he was able to come up with the procedure to help deal with this condition, all right, justified his ways of going about it, okay, so to speak. Okay, it says critics say Sims cared more about the experiments than in providing therapeutic treatment, and that he caused untold suffering by operating under the racist notion that black people did not feel pain. Okay, so that was the view at the time. Okay, all right, Esau justified his treatment of Jake, okay, in these medical experiments, all right, like the ones I tried to describe to the best of my capabilities at the beginning of this video. Okay, all right, he justified a lot of that shit, okay, by saying, okay, these Jakes, all right, Israel, these black people, all right, they're inferior, okay, they're less than human, all right, they're more akin to animals, all right, they don't really feel pain like that, they're savages, okay, so we can do this to them, all right, and be justified, okay. And Esau, there's actual articles going into how Esau will point would come up with these how would I say, these research articles, okay, all right, so-called research articles and studies and cases, all right, to try to justify his treatment of Jake, okay, scientifically, so to speak. He would try to use science, all right, scientific research to try to justify his view, okay, so that when these things took place, nobody would no red flags would be raised, so to speak. All right, now it says this section of the article, I skipped down. It says, but did patients consent? Sims wrote that the women had clamored for the operations to relieve their discomfort, but whether they consented or not was never captured in any other historical record. As Bettina Judd, assistant professor of gender, women, and sexuality studies at the University of Washington, points out, consent isn't always about whether you can say yes, or it's also whether you can say no. Okay, so these slaves did not have the right to say no. Okay, and so therefore everything was a go, so to speak. Okay, today we know 3 of the names of the female fistula patients from Sims' own records: Lucy, Anarcha, and Betsy. Now it was more than just 3. Okay, it was more than that. Okay, and it was multiple experiments. All right, if I'm correct, I believe it was up to 30. Okay. It says the first one he operated on was 18-year-old Lucy, who had given birth a few months prior and hadn't been able to control her bladder since. During the procedure, patients were completely naked and asked to perch on their knees and bend forward onto their elbows so their heads rested on their hands. Lucy endured an hour-long surgery, screaming and crying out in pain as nearly a dozen other doctors watched. As Sims later wrote, Lucy's agony was extreme. Okay, so this guy reportedly just said, okay, black people don't feel pain, but then turn around and acknowledge that this woman is in agony and it was extreme. Okay, showing you this man has a forked tongue. Okay, and he was doing all of this, mind you, he's cutting into this woman's vagina. Okay, he's cutting into her uterus, cutting into her bladder. Okay, cutting into her womb. Okay, all that sensitive area. Okay, imagine blood, urine everywhere. Okay, all right, she's screaming, she's in tears. All right, and guess what? A dozen other Edomite doctors are watching. Nobody tries to step in, try to break it up. Nobody said, what you're doing is wrong. We shouldn't be doing this. Nah, they was all okay with it, man. Okay. It says she became extremely ill due to his controversial use of a sponge to drain the urine away from the bladder, which led her to contract blood poisoning. I thought she was going to die. It took Lucy 2 or 3 months to recover entirely from the effects of the operation, he wrote. Okay, so this idiot right here, okay, this demon devil idiot, instead of using a better method, all right, and being never mind. Instead of not using a sponge to drain away urine, he used a sponge. All right, mind you, blood is everywhere. Okay, urine is everywhere. He's using a sponge. Okay, to drain away urine from this woman's woman's bladder, man. Okay, and because it's such a bloody and wet mess. All right, the bacteria and the toxins from the urine end up in this woman's blood. Okay, and she damn near dies, man. Okay, this is what Esau was doing, man. All right, these devils, man, are the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the planet Earth, man. That evil scientist, okay, from the movies, man. All right, that's Esau, man. Okay. Not only was he experimenting on women, he was doing this on children too, man. And then Esau's going to be the first one to try to portray himself about being for women and children's and women's rights and all this bullshit. All right, but look at his history, man. Look at his track record, man. He's totally opposite of that. Okay, it says experimenting on slave children. Writer and medical ethicist Harriet Washington says Sims' racist beliefs affected more than his gynecological experiments. Before and after his gynecological experiments, he also tested surgical treatments on enslaved black children in an effort to treat trismus nascentium with little to no success. Sims also believed that African Americans which we're not Africans, okay, nor are we Americans, we're Israelites, okay, we're less intelligent than white people, and thought it was because their skulls grew too quickly around their brain. He would operate on African American children with a shoemaker's tool to pry their bones apart and loosen their skulls, man. Okay, so this guy was taking a shoemaker's tool, okay, to break open and pry the bones apart of their human skulls, man. Okay, to examine their brains, man. Okay, and this is on children, man. Okay, this is on fucking man. Man, you Edomites are the devil, man. Okay, It says in the 1815, Sims moved to New York and opened the first ever women's hospital where he continued testing controversial medical treatments on his patients. When any of Sims' patients died, the blame, according to him, laid squarely with the sloth and ignorance of their mothers and the black midwives who attended them. He did not believe anything was wrong with his methods. Okay, so this is what this demon devil was said to justify his actions, man. Okay. All right, it was the mother's fault. It's the black midwife's fault. It wasn't the fact that you were prying open their skulls with a damn shoemaker's tool, man. Okay? It wasn't that. It was everybody else's fault. That's how Esau gets down, man. He likes to push the blame off on everybody else, man. Okay? Yeah, man. You demons, man. You devils, man, are something else, man. Okay, now this is from the WashingtonPost.com. Okay, pretty much talks about this same guy, James or Miriam Sims. Okay, the Edomite devil. All right, it's entitled "American Medicine Was Built on the Backs of Slaves, and it Still Affects How Doctors Treat Patients Today." Man. Okay, and like the scriptures say, matter of fact, let me bring this precept out. Like the scriptures say in Job, man. All right, you Edomites are physicians of no value, man. Okay, this is Job chapter 13, verse 4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." Okay, and that's what you Edomites are, man. Okay, physicians supposed to help cure a disease, help somebody become whole, man. All right, you're not supposed to do inhumane and horrific practices like the things I just read. Okay, and call it medicine, man. All right, but that's what you Edomites do, man. Okay, and so therefore, yeah, you are all physicians of no fucking value, man. All right, and that's why Jake is always so leery-eyed. Okay, when it comes to dealing with Esau and his medical system, man. Okay, because there's history of mistreatment, man. There's history of malpractice, man, going back hundreds and hundreds of years, man. Okay. And so that's ingrained in Jake's psyche, man. Okay, which that's a good thing, man. Okay, because the scriptures say never trust thine enemy anyway. All right. Now I'm gonna read this part of the article. I'm not gonna start from the beginning. All right. I'm going to start from right here in the middle. It says racist beliefs associated with slavery also provided perceived ethical justification for conducting repeated invasive experiments like those Sims performed. Sims carried out his experiments on women's genitalia from 1845 to 1849 without anesthesia, which had recently been introduced. All right, so anesthesia was available. All right, which anesthesia basically is when you're going into surgery. All right, Esau will give you anesthesia. All right, to pretty much sedate you. Okay, all right, and put you in a sleep-like state, so you don't end up feeling any of the pain. You're not conscious of it. You're not conscious of it at all. Okay, all right. So this was available, and did Esau actually administer anesthesia to these women? No. All right, but when it was white women who needed these so-called white women that needed these experiments, okay, or these procedures done on them, they were given anesthesia when you actually go into it. Okay, it says in addition to their status as enslaved people, black women were considered appropriate subjects for such experiments based on the widespread belief that black people experience less pain than white people. Okay, such ideas had helped rationalize the enslavement of black people. Black Americans, and received the imprimatur of 19th century medicine, okay, which imprimatur means approval or sanction. Okay, so it was because of the notions of 19th century medicine, all right, and the scientific racism that was ingrained in 19th century medicine, and it's still today, okay, that Esau used to justify his wicked acts. Okay, for example, prominent physicians of the day contended that black people possess thicker skulls and a less sensitive nervous system. Such racist beliefs about pain tolerance permeated American society and persisted well beyond the institution of slavery. Okay, now the scriptures say, man, Esau, all right, he's constantly trying to find a way to justify his his wickedness, man. The scriptures say these demons, all right, they speak wickedly concerning oppression. All right, now I'm going to go to Psalm chapter 64, okay, and verse 5, it says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune to lay snares privately. They say, who shall see them? Okay, so Esau's constantly trying to find a way, all right, to encourage himself, all right, and justify his evil works, man. Okay, all right, and because he feels like he's in power, all right, he doesn't feel like anybody can call him out. Okay, he doesn't feel like he's accountable to anybody. All right, it says they search out iniquity, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded, so shall they make their own tongues to fall upon themselves, all that see them shall flee away. Okay, so Esau's tongue is falling upon himself, man. All right, he's exposing his own damn self. All right, and the Most High has judgment prepared for this devil, man. Okay. It says, now I'm going to continue reading. It says, indeed, in 1950s, or at a 1950 biography of Sim suggested that slave women endured his VVF experiments with amazing patience and fortitude, a grim stoicism which may have been part of their racial endowment. So Esau really believes this shit, man. Okay, Esau was looking at Jake, all right. He's thinking, all right, you Jakes, y'all don't feel pain. Okay, y'all don't feel pain as strongly. Okay, so I can do this kinds of stuff to you, and it won't matter. All right, and it says the point of this article here is pretty much to show how Esau's beliefs about this shit, okay, still exists today. And matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna read a little further down. Okay, it says, as New York City Health Commissioner Mary Bissett has argued, the failure of medical institutions to grapple with the legacy of racism and medical experimentation is contributing to ongoing racial disparities in health outcomes. Okay, racist health beliefs have proven remarkably durable, not only because they were at the core of medical advances such as VVF repair, but also because of the ongoing absence of critical thinking and writing on racism and health in mainstream medical journals. For example, the belief in biological differences in pain tolerance between black and white patients continues to affect American medical practice today. Just one of a number of troubling beliefs about biological racism, racial differences plaguing modern medicine. In 2016, so this is recent, a 2016 survey found that about half of white medical students and residents in the sample endorsed false beliefs about biological differences between black and white patients. For example, 25% of medical residents agreed that blacks have thicker skin than whites. Strikingly, participants who endorsed more false beliefs about biological differences between blacks and whites showed a racial bias in the accuracy of their treatment recommendations. These disparities remain particularly stark in obstetrics and gynecology. Today, black women are 3 to 4 times as likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women. Okay, so these Edomites still look at medicine that way. They still look at Jake this way, man. Okay, they still believe that Jake has thick skin. They feel pain less intensely as Edomites do. Okay, so that's why Jake, when they go into these medical institutions, they don't receive the proper treatment, man. Okay, when it comes to having organs replaced, all right, blood transfusions, all right, proper pain therapy, okay, and also when it comes to pregnancy, all right, you have Israelite women who die, okay, because of complications related with childbirth, okay, 3 or 4 times more likely to do so than Edomite women, okay, and this is still going on today, man, all right. So I just wanted to read that part, okay, read that article to show you that this is something that's still going on today, all right, especially for you gainsayers that'll say, oh, it was a long time ago, man. You Edomites are still the devil, and you're still doing devilish things till this day, all right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and 15, it says, that which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been. God required that which is past. Okay, so the Most High requires that which is past. Okay, the things that you Edomites forefathers and foremothers have done, our forefathers and foremothers, the Most High is going to require that, man. And you Edomites still benefit off of the oppression, okay, that happened in the past, okay, till this day, and the oppression that's happening now, man. Okay, till this day, till this very day, man. And none of you Edomites, all right, have never ever made a concerted effort together as a nation, all right, to repay Israel as a nation for what you all have done, okay, for all the wickedness that you've done, man. Okay, so you got to pay for it, goddamn it, all right. And it's interesting because this article talks about how Edomite medical students, okay, view biological differences between Jake and Esau, okay, and dealing with pain and stuff like that, which we are the stronger race anyway. Okay, we were able to endure pain better than you weak Edomite devils are anyway. But it just goes to show you, man, how these Edomite devils think, man. All right, I was reading another article prior to doing this lesson about how during the times of slavery, Esau viewed it as a high level of education that had to be part of their educational curriculum to dissect and to experiment on so-called black bodies, man. Okay, and I was reading another article prior to that, okay, going into how in those times as well, all right, how these experiments were done on live patients, man, okay, and dead patient and dead Jakes too, man, okay, without anesthesia and without consent, man. Okay, so Esau is just an all-around devil, man. Okay, he's gonna have to pay for everything that he's done, man. I'm gonna bring out this last precept and I'm gonna close it out, man. Okay, because the cat's out the bag, man. And at the end of the day, all the things that you Edomites have done, man, y'all gonna have to pay for it, man. Okay, the cup that we had to drink of the Lord's hand, y'all gonna have to drink it too. Okay, this is Isaiah 51 and 21. It says, "Thus saith thy Lord, the Lord, and thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury, thou shalt no more drink it again." Okay, and that's going into the slavery and the oppression, the affliction that we had to deal with as a nation underneath these heathens, man, especially these Edomites. Okay, so the Lord's going to take the cup, that cup of his judgment, of his indignation, of his wrath, the cup of trembling, the cup of his fury out of our hands, and we're going to have to deal with it anymore, man. We're not going to be oppressed, okay, and under the affliction and under the foot of you devils anymore, man. Okay, verse 23, it says, "But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, and that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over." Okay, so it says now these heathens gonna have to deal with the cup, man. Y'all gonna be the ones in slavery, okay, the ones getting afflicted, all right, the ones catching hell underneath the Israelites, man. The Lord's gonna put his people, all right, beginning with the elect of the nation of Israel, over the other nations of the planet Earth, and Lord willing, okay, all right, we gonna rule over you. Okay, we're going to rule over our oppressors, man, with a rod of iron, and as the vessels of potter, they shall be broken to shivers, man. All right, but what does it say that those that are say? They said, "Bow down that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over," man. Okay, so we were under your oppression, man. We was under affliction, okay? We were abused, man. Okay, these heathens walked all over us, man, especially you Edomites for your own benefit, man. Okay, all right. That, man. All right, so hey, Lord willing, this video was edifying, citations, all the Akim out there pushing the word of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash in truth and in sincerity, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, Barakatam to you all. Shalom.